Ilkka, good morning.
Good morning.
Could you introduce yourself?
Ilkka Raiskinen, Nokia, responsible for Nokia's context, advertising and emerging market services.
Okay, so we'll discuss a little bit emerging markets today and maybe the trends that you see in this trade show. So what is the strategy of Nokia in emerging markets?
It is a very exciting opportunity, and why emerging markets will need a different strategy, that of course is a good question. And from our perspective, we see a lot of trends in the emerging markets that are different from, if you will, the Western markets. Like for instance, how people are using internet. In China, people are accessing more internet directly from their mobile than they are accessing that from fixed. And we believe that that's a really exciting fact. And now the question is, okay, what can we do to make internet even easier to access from mobile?
Is that because the cost of having two devices, a computer and a mobile, is too expensive for emerging markets?
I think there are many reasons. Obviously, cost plays always a role. One thing is the other thing is that wireless is faster to build than fixed internet. And third one is that with mobile devices, charging and carrying, it's much more convenient.
Okay. What is at stake in India and China for Nokia?
We believe that the next 1 billion internet users will be mainly coming from that direction. So the fastest internet growth is in that area, and that's why it's so exciting.
You've built a huge research center in China, haven't you?
We have a lot of the R&D activities, research activities, and manufacturing activities in China. So yes, it's a very important area.
How is there a mobile breakdown like there is in the computer? A computer divide. Is that so in the mobile also?
I don't think that we have been discussing that as much as with on the computer side. So we don't have too many facts at the moment. But what we can say is that these devices are much more affordable for consumers, and because it's also a phone, it's a very natural first device to get. So you get phone and internet in the same package plus some more.
Okay. Now, one of the things I was attending a lift in Geneva last week, and one of the comments is that in these emerging markets, they're also relying on older technologies. Have you found that also as a...
So we see pretty much all the segments we see in Western markets, in emerging markets as well. So we see the technology leaders, we see the early adopters, we see people who are just interested in voice. So yes, we see all these segments, but obviously the sheer volume of people are maybe more on a kind of like a lower end of the marketplace.
Okay, so what is your sales strategy, for example, in China and India? How do you tackle the market? Apart from being there with huge R&D staff, how would you just tackle it?
So, first of all, when it comes to these services that people are interested in, that's clearly the driver. So why people are buying these devices. So we try to make sure that we also have the full set of applications available. So which means that we have to have a fairly sort of a broad distribution network, and then offer not only the hardware but the full suite of applications as well.
Okay. Do you have a market share that you can tell us?
At the moment, I don't have the updated market share with me, so let's revisit that a bit later.
Okay, what is the feedback from the consumers when they use your services over there in China?
So we see that people are consuming more and more internet services with their mobile. So especially in emerging markets, we see the camera services very interesting. We see access to internet, i.e. browsing and messaging, very important. But also infotainment kind of services, information about what's happening locally. So locally relevant services are also very, very important in India and China. And then, you know, infotainment, so music, ringtones, all that. So not that different from other markets.
Well, the interesting thing you were talking about is local, because one of the feedback I got also is that these markets are very local.
Correct.
People are in the countryside and they're not traveling very far from where they live, so there is a big need for local services, I guess.
That is very true, and of course it's relevant elsewhere, but you're right. Local language, they have a lot of local dialects there, so services need to be available in the local language, and also they need to be locally relevant. I think music is a good example. Like in India, over 90% of music is based on local labels.
Okay. Now, Ilkka, as a conclusion, do you see any special focus this year here at the Mobile World Congress?
Now, during the first day, you know, my favorite pick would be like maps and navigation. We see a lot of companies, Nokia included, announcing more and more devices with GPS enabled. So it seems that the navigation and maps is one of the next things that will go mobile.
Thank you very much, Ilkka.
Thank you very much, my pleasure.